Okay, I have no idea how long this video is going to be because it just came to me and I just needed to pick up the camera and start recording and start talking before I maladaptive daydreamed the entire video without actually recording it, because I'm trying to get better at not scripting my videos, but I have a habit of talking my YouTube videos out loud in my room to myself, to nobody, and then I have no videos to post because I'm scripting all of them. And there's things I've learned about myself that basically mean I shouldn't be scripting my videos as often. So I've been practicing, I'm trying to practice just picking up the camera and talking. But anyways, this just came to me, so I don't know how much I actually have to say on this. But I need you guys to understand that you have so much more power than you realize. And the only reason why you don't think that you have power is either because you don't understand it because it scares you, or you have a very limited idea of what power is. Typically, when you think of power, I'm just going to use K-dramas as an example because I love K-dramas. Typically, when you think of power, you think of that one, chaebol who, does whatever he wants. And people do what that person says. Yes, that is power, but that's not the only version of power. Power shouldn't only be thought of as how you can control other people. That's ego-based. Power isn't always about control as much as it is knowing who you are. And there are some people who will think that everything that you do that prompts other people to act or influences other people to act, they will think that that's control, even if that's not the mentality that you did something with, because it's reflecting their limited their limited view of power. Here's what I mean by this. A type of power that people can have is where they set boundaries and people follow them. Don't speak to me like that. Don't touch me. No, I'm not going because I don't like hanging out with these people. And you will see some people go out of their way to make sure, hey, listen, she don't like being with her, so don't bring her because I want her here, right? They'll never touch that person again. They'll never sit. They're more careful with their words around this person. People who have a very limited idea of what power is think that that's control. And it's not. She set a boundary. Now what she's done is she's put you on probation. Now what she's done is she is seeing whether or not you're going to respect her boundary. And then if you don't, she leaves. That's still power, though, because it represents how little control those people have over her. This is what I'm trying to get at. Power isn't always how much you can control other people, as much as it can sometimes be how little control people have over you. And you don't always have to be completely unteachable or just unsociable in order to be powerful. Because I can guarantee you, that person who can set those boundaries, she still loves hanging out with people. She just doesn't go where she's not desired. She just knows what she will and won't accept from people. And it doesn't have to mean that she doesn't talk to people. It means she keeps herself out of spaces that are not mentally or emotionally or even energetically safe for her. And when she finds people that are, then she goes and she hangs with them. And the reason why I say it's still powerful even though she's not controlling those other people is because it prompts people to be more aware of themselves and of other people. And there's just something about somebody walking away from you when you've disrespected them too many times that makes people realize, damn, I might just be the problem. Sometimes you just have to admit that you're the problem. And it doesn't always have to be a negative thing. It doesn't always have to mean that you're a horrible person. But at no point in time are we ever just not the problem. That's not what I meant by that. What am I talking about? Okay. We will never go through our entire lives never being the problem. It doesn't mean we're always the problem. But there's going to be certain times in life where it was us. And it's just something about somebody walking away from you because they weren't going to tolerate your bullshit anymore. They have to sit with that. with the feelings and the consequences. They have to sit with those emotions. Like, damn, I really didn't stop because I didn't take her seriously, and now she don't want to be with me anymore. And why are there cars in front of my driveway? Anyway, but yeah, my phone is flashing. I need a new phone. You can't really tell, but it's very green. You can't see the screen anymore. It does that. So I actually have Jesus. Yeah, it does that. It does it more when I'm looking at it. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I really need a new phone, and I have no idea if I'm gonna be able to get it from where I'm trying to get it from. So I may have to get it myself, which means I'm really gonna need to put my heart and soul into this whole YouTube thing so that I can make enough money off of the AdSense and buy myself a new phone. Because it's not just for content creation purposes at this point, it's also because, like, I need a phone for my own personal safety. If I don't have one, there's a whole lot of things that are gonna be affected by me not having a phone, so. But anyway, that was a tiny sidebar. But yeah, I need you guys to understand, you are not being forced to hang out with those people that you don't actually want to hang out with. You just don't recognize your own power. You don't actually have to respond to that person who's, narcissistic and abusive. And do whatever you need to do for your own safety. But if you can disengage and maintain that safety, do that. That's part of taking your power back. Start learning how to call your energy back from people. Because a lot of times people don't even really want to hang with you, they just want your energy because they don't have any of their own. This is what I mean when I say, you have more power than you're willing to admit. But your power is different. Your power doesn't require controlling other people, it requires controlling yourself. It requires boundaries for yourself. It requires loving for and loving on and caring for yourself. Your power is in being able to take your energy back from other people who are just trying to siphon it out of you. And it's a huge hit to people's lives when they try to take advantage of you in that way, and you call all of that back to you. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, my car payment was late, I got evicted, this, that, and the third. Because you had a deep source of power in somebody else and you did not cherish that person. This is what I'm trying to tell you when I tell you, you have more power than you think you do. Now here's the thing. Don't just go around telling people that you have power, because that can also cause the way that they feel to affect your emotional strength, spiritual strength, the frequency you vibrate at. I would recommend, honestly, keeping it to yourself. But, at night before you go to bed in the privacy of your own room, just cleanse yourself, cleanse your space, cleanse your energy. Call everything back to you from anybody who is not using it for your good, for their good, for anybody else's good. Anybody who's just trying to use you as an emotional dumping ground, who's just trying to trauma dump, anybody who, expects you to fix their insecurities and to not tread on their jealousy and their envy. Bring all of that back to you because it is yours. It was given to you for a reason. I'm willing to bet that part of the reason why those other people don't have the power that you have is because they're not emotionally equipped and emotionally mature to handle it. That means they can't be entitled to yours either. Because you know how to handle yours. That's why it was given to you. You just have to learn how, right? But internally, intuitively, you already know how. You just have to do it intentionally. But yeah, anytime you find yourself in situations where, something just feels off, separate yourself from those people. Call everything that is yours back to you. And then just don't hang with them again. Because not only is part of your power in being able to control yourself rather than controlling other people, but it's also in being able to keep your energy out of places that aren't healthy for you. Part of your power is self-preservation. part of your power is being able to deflect other people's negativity. When you actually learn how to harness it, you turn it into a protective shield around you so that other people's attacks on you can't really affect you. And sure, there might be some that, kind of slip through a little bit. But the bounce back from that is so much easier because, again, your power is your self-protection. Maintaining your energy, preserving your energy, reclaiming your energy. That's the word I was really looking for. Reclaiming your energy and using your words to ensure the safety of said energy is part of your power. That's how you keep yourself out of spaces that aren't meant for you. That's how you repel people that are not meant for you. And it can be kind of scary doing this because you'd be surprised the people that aren't meant for you. Sometimes they can be people you've been friends with for years. You grew up together or you went to college together, family, friends. But start just, quietly practicing this and watch the people that fall away from your life. Watch the people that stop attacking you. Watch the spiritual attacks and warfare that seem to disappear all of a sudden. This thing that you were struggling for ages now all of a sudden is smooth like butter. Call it BTS. I mean, just like that. And you're just like, wow. So the reason why I was struggling was because somebody else was channeling their envy towards me because they can't get what they're trying to go after. Yeah, that's why. That's why. That was people trying to use their own power against you because for some reason they find that easier than transforming it into positive energy that could propel them further. If you've ever seen that map of consciousness, you'll know that the stuff that's in like the green and higher is stronger than the stuff that's at the bottom. But it's also harder to get up there compared to all of the levels that are at the bottom. And fear of discomfort, I have another YouTube video talking about this. I don't know if it's up or not. I don't know if that one went up first or if this one went up first. But I have a YouTube video about fear of discomfort. That right there is the reason why people say we have nothing to fear except fear itself, because it will throttle your progress. It could put it at a standstill. And even worse when it's fear of discomfort, because there's a lot of things in this life that are uncomfortable. But we went through them anyway because we had something we wanted to get to. You know what was uncomfortable for us in the beginning? Walking. You know what I do every single day? Almost from the moment I get up out of bed to the time I go back into it at the end of the night? Walk. Walking was uncomfortable when I was 1 and 2. Now I'm 26 and I ain't got no problem with it. If you prioritize not feeling discomfort over the actual goal that you have, you'll never get there, and you will always use more unhealthy ways to get to that goal. Because you perceive your fear of discomfort to be much greater than it actually is. And that's how you get to things like, dropping into insecurity, which is very low vibrational. That's how you drop into feelings of, inadequacy, not being confident, jealousy, envy, anger and resentment. It's because you didn't prioritize yourself. You prioritized your fears instead, and especially your fear of discomfort. So then you go around trying to spread everything to everybody else to keep them down, to give you a shot at getting up to the top. And you're still not there, so what's good? Because if you were actually at the top, you wouldn't be so affected by what everybody else down there is doing. You might even be cheering them on and pulling them up to you. But as long as you're clouded by insecurity, you'll never actually get there. Because you'll always be comparing yourself to somebody else. That's that inadequacy. Being resentful and angry that somebody else got to where you are is a sign of insecurity and inadequacy in yourself, which are all under the umbrella of fear. Fear of discomfort. You fear that somebody's going to take something away from you. This is another area where somebody else's power can lie, because they've raised their vibration so much that they don't feel those feelings of inadequacy. because they know who they are. And they know what things do and don't affect them. That's powerful. They could do basically anything they want, and succeed or fail, who they are never changes. Do you know how powerful it is to have a stable identity? Do you know how powerful it is to have a stable identity? All of these other people angry because they don't know who they are and they fear that somebody else getting attention for what they do completely erases them out of the very fabric of reality. And that's all a mental thing, mind you. That's all a creation of their own mind, because physically they still exist. And nobody else is making them do this. They are in a prison of their own mind. They are powerless against themselves. That's where your power comes in, because you've always maintained your own identity. That's part of the reason why I tell you not to hang around these people that make you feel off, because there's a chance that that is a challenge to your own identity. But also, spending time away from these people and spending time by yourself gives you a chance to actually figure out who you are and solidify that. So you always know that regardless of where you go, that's what makes it easier to get out of and stay out of situations you don't want to be in. Because knowing who you are also involves knowing what you want, what you don't want, what you like, what you'll accept, what you won't accept, and knowing what you will and won't do, who you'll be with and who you won't be with. So no matter what situation you're in, your identity and who you are never changes. You'll just discover new parts of it, but the very core of it won't change. And a stable core, I'm gonna get a little anime with it. There's this anime called Kaiju number 8. These monsters, that's what kaiju is. I think kaiju is Japanese for monster. These kaiju, some of them could shapeshift and morph into this, that, and the third. But at their core, they were still what? Kaiju. And it's funny that I say core, because the only way that you can kill them is by ripping the core out from their body, from disconnecting it. And the core is in different places for different kaiju. But you find that core, you just killed your monster. Now, for us human beings, it's a little bit different. Because finding the core doesn't mean you have to rip it out. Finding the core for ourselves means you can safeguard it more, which some kaiju were able to do. They were able to create decoy cores in their body so that the team who is sent to, destroy them would have a harder time getting through to the actual core, which would buy the kaiju time to fight back or to morph into whatever they needed, or to, run away. When they would get better at fighting, because some of them, would survive the battles and they'd come back and they'd fight them again. Some of them were really smart and would learn the human fighters' patterns against them. They build up the shield around their core, which makes it a lot harder to access. That is a visual that you can have when you think about power. It's being able to put that shield around your identity, and that helps you to strengthen your intuition so that you can stay away from any of these things that could be harmful or damaging to you. It makes it harder for people to try and use their own power against you. It makes it harder for people to manipulate you, to challenge you, to do anything to bring you down so they can finally feel like they have a little bit of something on you, like they've elevated just a little bit above you. And again, it's not necessarily about controlling other people or being better than other people. It's about making sure that people don't try to use you against your own self, and that people don't try to use your energy when they have not been given the authority to do so, when they've not been given authorization to do so, when they don't have the emotional maturity to do so. That's what power is. And many times people don't actually have that power, and they know they don't have that power, but they're trying to convince you that they are who they are in comparison to who they're telling you you are, and they're hoping that you'll believe it. They probably don't even fully believe it themselves, or it could be delusion, but they're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. You developing and cultivating your own personal power to shield the core of your identity could be the very thing that helps you peel that shit off the wall. Now the drywall's coming off with it, you're seeing what's actually behind the paint. I kind of said that wrong, but whatever. Y'all know what I meant. I'm not in construction. You saw it in your head. You got it. Stay with me. That's part of power. It's people being able to... It's being able to have people try stuff on you. Then they gotta walk away embarrassed with their tail between their legs. Because you've safeguarded and bulletproofed yourself against their instability, against their shape-shifting, against their emotional immaturity, and against their attempts to bring you down to elevate themselves. So, that's your power. Use it, believe it, don't be scared of it, cultivate it, be intentional with it, instill it in yourself, practice it, use it, inspire other people around you, and accept it. Accept that you do truly have power. But it starts with your mind, and then you feel it in your body. You gotta believe it. That's all you gotta do. You just gotta believe it, and then be intentional with feeling it and with working on it. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Mwah. Love you, bye.